What's up, guys, and welcome back here on my channel. As you can maybe see, I made it back to the US. I'm back in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Soccer season or football season, however you want to call it, started. And yeah, we're just gonna play another 1-2 session here at my local casino. Yeah, I think that's it. Not much more to say. Yeah, let's just get inside and play some cards. In the first hand, back in the US, we beautiful 5-6 of hearts. MP decides to limp, I make it 15 to go from the hijack, cut off calls, so does the big blind and the limper. We go forwards to a flop of 7 king 4 with 2 spades. I bet out for 25 bucks and the cutoff min clicks me to $50. Big blind folds and the limper cold calls 50 and I obviously call as well with an open ender for an amazing price to make the nuts. The guy who min clicked me is an older guy and he already has 2 pair of sets here in his range, so I'm just trying to hit my open ender to win a potential massive pot of him. The turn is the 7 of clubs and I could be drawing dead here, guys, trust me. The limper checks, I check, and it surprisingly gets checked around, so the cutoff maybe only has a strong king here. The river then is the deuce of spades, so a total brick, and I have no intentions to bluff in this spot against 2 very tight opponents. It gets checked to the cutoff again and he just bets $60 and I believe he just wins it. So we unfortunately couldn't hit our open ender, but we're just gonna move on to the next hand and hit it there. In the next hand we look down at ace queen of spades, 3 players decide to limp and I make it $20 to go. Under the gun +1 and under the gun +2 decide to call and the other limpers fold, and we go to a flop of deuce 5-8 with 1 spade. It gets checked to me and I decide to take a free card here and the turn is the jack of spades. That was obviously the turn we were hoping for and both players check to me again. With 2 overs and a nut flush draw as well, I have to put some money in here, so I decide to bet 35. After some thought, only under the gun +1 makes the call and we definitely need some help on the river. And we definitely get it with the ace of clubs. Under the gun +1 surprisingly lead jams for 136 bucks. I really don't like the spot, especially against this specific player because he probably makes 2 pair a lot, but I psycho and he was bluffing with pocket fours and we win that one. In the next hand we squeeze queen jack of hearts from the small blind, MP limps, cutoff makes it 10, button calls and I make it $40 to go. Both players decide to call and I also think I made a little bit of a mistake here because I made it way too small. I should have made it around 50 or 60 to go. But we go to a flop out of position of 9-8 deuce with 2 hearts and 1 diamond. We have a huge straight flush draw with 2 overs as well and I want to get in as much money as I can on this flop, so I decide to bet 100 bucks. A very tight opponent decides to call and the button folds. She only has a few bucks behind, so I blind jam the turn, but we immediately get there on the 7 of hearts, followed by the 3 of hearts and we win against king without the hearts, so all in all a great result. In the next hand we have ace 10 offsuit in the cutoff. Since there was a $5 straddle, this time small blind, big blind, under the gun and hijack all decide to limp in and I make it 30 bucks to go. Now the button who originally straddled cold calls to 30 bucks and this brings in the under the gun and the hijack and we go to a flop of ace ace king. I decide to slow pair here and check because besides the king there aren't a lot of hands that can call a bet and so it gets checked around. The turn is another ace, so we indeed make quads here and the hijack leads into me very small for 30 bucks. This is obviously music to my ears, so I just call here and slow play and the under the gun player sticks around as well. The river is a brick with the 7 of diamonds and the hijack bets again for 70. I put her on a king here, but obviously I hope that the under the gun player has a king too. I obviously jam here and to my surprise the under the gun player sticks it in pretty quick for 183 bucks and the hijack folds showing a 7 and we scoop this pot and on top of that we hit the high hand as well. I decide to sell that high hand which pays around 1200 bucks at the end of the night to the player in seat 9 for 400 bucks and just 15 minutes later the girl in seat 6 hits a jack high straight flush and the high hand gets cracked and I made an amazing sell right here. In the second last hand of this vlog here, we have a nice squeeze spot again with ace 6 of diamonds. I straddle $4 on the button this time, small blind makes it 15, big blind under the gun and cut off all call and I decide to squeeze here to $75. Then the small blind decides to call the $70, under the gun calls as well with only 70 bucks behind and cut off calls with all of his chips for 34 bucks, so people definitely don't like folding in Fort Wayne. The flop is king jack queen rainbow with 1 diamond and it gets checked to me again. This is a perfect board for me to keep c-betting since I have a gutter to the nuts and a backdoor flush draw, but obviously I can represent all the sets, 2 pairs and even ace 10, so I decide to bet 100 bucks. It's on the small blind now technically, but under the gun calls for 70 out of turn, which the small blind recognizes, so he decides to fold and under the gun calls, so we need a lot of help here against 2 players all in.
The turn is the 7 of diamond, which gives us a lot of outs, but the river is the 3 of spades, and we lose to queen 10 offsuit, and the all-in player pre-flop wins with king 9 of spades, and yeah, we lose the main pot and the side pot. In the last hand of the flop, I open ace 9 offsuit from under the gun and only the button calls, and we go heads up to a flop of ace jack 3 rainbow. He checks out of turn, which is a sign of weakness to me, so I see bet my whole range here basically for $10. He then decides to call, which is very strange to me, and I think that's second pair at best in my eyes. The turn is another jack, and it goes check check here because I don't want to put more money into the pot if he really has a jack here. The river is the 7 of diamonds, and now I think I gotta go for value here. I bet $20 and he immediately grabs chips and then raises to $40. It's really strange to me, especially for everything that has happened in his hand, but especially the player I'm facing here. I cannot imagine that he's bluffing here, so I decide to make a tight fold in the end and rack up my chips.
Yeah, I know. And you can have some nectarines too, because I'm not going to eat them all.
I am so sorry. Did you just get
Then, take the whole bag.
Were you playing?
Alright guys, just cashed out. Yeah, obviously a dream 1-2 session. That's how you want it to be. Overall pretty smooth, that's all I can say. I cashed out for $1,016, so that's a profit of $516 plus. I did hit the high end with quad aces and a king kicker, and I sold it for $400, and then literally 5 minutes later it gets cracked by a jack high flush, so I made another $400. So yeah, in total, insane day. And yeah, all I can say, on to the next one. If you enjoyed watching the video, leave a like or a comment, and make sure to follow my Instagram as well and my YouTube channel too. Yeah, always stay updated.